adenine links with thymine by 2 hydrogen bonds, while your cytosine links with guanine by 3 hydrogen bonds. Okay, so if you'll see A means adenine, T means thymine, C means cytosine, G means guanine. Okay, so it's you'll see these letters instead of the complete nitrogenous base at different slides and at different pages of your book even. Okay, यहाँ तक is everything clear?
Yes, Miss Clear.
ठीक है चलें जी. So now let's study the structure of DNA molecule. Let two polynucleotides, they run in opposite directions and they are held together by hydrogen bonds. So I know at this point you're completely lost here what is meant by two polynucleotide. So two polynucleotide means that we are talking about the two strands of DNA molecule. Jैसे I made in the previous slide. If let's consider this as your DNA strands, that they're saying one of them is your polynucleotide. So poly means many and nucleotide is the monomer of your nucleic acids. Okay? So lots of nucleotides are present on this strand and lots of nucleotides are present on this strand. And this is why they're saying two polynucleotide. Are you able to understand this word? Two polynucleotides. Is it difficult? I said,
yes, I understand.
okay, excellent. Okay. By two, I
दोबारा
mean,
बता दीजिए दोबारा.
okay. By two, I mean that DNA has two strands, right? I cannot make the double helix structure. It's very technical to make. It has a 3D structure that I cannot draw. अगर बना दिया तो कुछ समझ ही नहीं आएगा. Let's try. Try नहीं करते. बहुत बुरा बनाऊंगी. कुछ ये तो मैंने DNA बना दिया. छोड़ें आप. क्रोमोसोम बना दिए. Rather DNA को बस आप ऐसे ही समझ लें. The DNA molecule has two strands. ठीक है? And we said कि nucleotide is the monomer of your nucleic acids. ठीक है? Nucleic acid is your polymer, while nucleotide is the monomer. We discussed the structure of nucleotide, that it has phosphate head, it has a pentose sugar, then it has a nitrogenous base. ठीक है? So by poly means many, and nucleotide is the monomer of your DNA. So I'm saying कि इस strand पे, this is the strand of DNA. This is, let's consider this as your strand number 1 and this as your strand number 2. So these are two strands of DNA molecule, and on each strand there are lots of nucleotide molecules and lots of nucleotide molecules, and they're terming this as polynucleotide. Yani many nucleotides are present on the two strands of DNA, and that they run in opposite directions. So for at this point, just forget this point that they're running in opposite directions, because we have not talked about the synthesis of DNA molecule as yet. We'll talk about it in the upcoming slides, but abhi ke liye just forget this word running in opposite directions. You will understand it once we are done with the DNA replication. Abhi just understand that there are many nucleotides that are present on the strands of DNA. And if, for example, if one of the base is adenine, it will bind with thymine, and in between you will find two hydrogen bonds. And agar there is this cytosine ka nitrogenous base, it will bind with guanine and it will have three hydrogen bonds in between. So we term this as complementary base pairing. Okay, so if at any point you're asked to describe complementary base pairing, you need to give this example and you need to mention the hydrogen bonds. Okay, so hydrogen bonds, you need to remember this. You need to remember that adenine will bind with thymine. Acha, one more thing that I forgot to mention in the previous slides, I said that adenine is going to bind with thymine. So this is the scenario of DNA molecule. But if there is RNA molecules, in RNA molecule, adenine will bind with uracil. Okay, and will have two hydrogen bonds. But just remember the fact that thymine is not present in your RNA molecule. Rather, adenine will bind with uracil. So it's present there as well in the previous slide, but with reference to DNA. If we'll talk about RNA, then thymine is not going to be there. We'll talk about uracil binding with adenine with two hydrogen bonds in between. Okay? So this is a very favorite question of Cambridge, and they usually ask this question in P1. in RNA molecule, adenine is going to bind with which of the nitrogen spaces. So be mindful that in RNA, adenine will always bind with uracil. No thymine is present in RNA. Okay, so now let's come to DNA replication. So this is a complete a different topic from the previous one because that was a completely different subtopic. We were just talking about the foundation part of this chapter. Now comes the technical aspect, and you will be asked about DNA replication or the other technical part which we'll study in the next week, protein synthesis. And these questions usually comes for 6 or 5 marks. I'm not sure 6 or 5, but 6 marks से तो मैंने देखा है. ठीक है, so मुझे पता है this is going to be a lot that you have to take in, but slow करेंगे तो हो जाएगा. We know that DNA has double helix, right? By double helix, I mean that it has double strands. ठीक है? So while DNA is replicating, and you have studied about the process of DNA replication in mitosis, that DNA replicates through semi-conservative replication. So if you are asked to describe semi-conservative replication, you are going to write everything which is present in this slide and in the upcoming slides. Okay, so this is the process which takes place when your DNA has to replicate, semi-conservative replication. And you mention this S phase in your mitosis. When we are doing interphase, when you're talking about interphase, you say that after G1 comes the S phase. So S phase is semi-conservative replication, and now we are going to study about semi-conservative replication of DNA. So you need to remember how this is also a P1 question, how does DNA replicate itself? So just remember DNA is going to replicate itself via S phase or via semi-conservative replication. Okay? So S phase is the acronym, while semi-conservative replication is the full form. Acha. So the DNA double helix unwinds and unzips, meaning that the double strand opens up itself, and the hydrogen bonds which are present between the bases, 2 between adenine and thymine and 3 between cytosine and guanine, they are going to break. Okay, this is the first step, number 1. Let me see if I have a picture of it as well. और अच्छी पिक्चर नहीं है, so just leave it. कहाँ गए? बल्कि हाँ, this is the picture ना. It's देखो चलो जब आएगा तो करते हैं. अभी देख लें कि ये this was your double helix, right? This is your double helix. This is a 3D picture of your double helix. And किसी एक enzyme से गुजरने के बाद the bonds between both of them, you can see that the bonds between these bases, they are breaking. So this part of your DNA is unwinding or it's unzipping. So as this enzyme acts upon the DNA, the hydrogen bonds between them, they are broken, and the double strand or the double helix of your DNA unwinds or it unzips. So this is the first step. Then in the nucleus, there are nucleotides to which 2 extra phosphates have been added. Okay? So in your nucleus, there are free nucleotides as well. And you now know the structure of nucleotides, so it should not be difficult for you to comprehend that there are nucleotides present in the nucleus, and they're free. They are not associated with any of your DNAs. They're free nucleotides to which 2 extra phosphates have been added. Like you can imagine the structure of ADP. तो एक तरीके का ADP is formulated. Don't say ADP. I'm just trying to explain you that free nucleotides are present in the nucleus, and then phosphate heads, they come in and they join with the free nucleotide. So the extra phosphates activate the nucleotide, enabling them to take part in the following reactions. So now and you can understand this fact why these phosphates have been added. These phosphates have been added to nucleotide to provide energy, because lots of energy is required when any process like replication is going to take place. Okay? So lots of energy is required. This is exactly why the process of phosphorylation means the addition of phosphates. So you can also write it. It's a good word. If you'll write it in your script, then there's a chance that your examiner will get impressed, because at this point, nobody tells you about phosphorylation. You know the process, but you do not know the correct term, which is phosphorylation. So if you want to write it, you can write it. Phosphorylation takes place. And why phosphorylation takes place? So that your nucleotide gets sufficient energy in order to carry forward the reaction of DNA replication. So far, are we good?
नहीं
देखो,
आप ये वर्ड अपनी स्लाइड्स पे इंक्लूड कर देंगे?
कर देती हूँ, यहाँ पर मैं लिख देती हूँ, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट श्योर कि स्लाइड्स अपलोड हो गई हैं या नहीं, तो आप अपने पास लिख लो, फॉस्फोराइलेशन। ठीक है. So the first step that took place was, we have not talked about DNA polymerase as yet. So अभी थोड़ा सा हम समझते हैं कि हुआ क्या था. That your double helix of DNA, it unwinds or it unzips, and the hydrogen bonds present between them, they were broken. ठीक है? Number one. Number two, we need to understand that there are free nucleotides present in your nucleus, and two phosphates, they attach with this nucleotide to make it activated, and it's phosphorylated to provide sufficient energy for the process of DNA replication. Okay, these are the two steps that we have just mentioned. Now, each of the bases of the activated nucleotide pairs up with its complementary base on each of the old DNA strands. So I was saying that when we were talking about mitosis, I mentioned that whenever your DNA is replicated, it's replicated in a manner that the previous, since it has two strands, right? So the one of the strand it gets is of the parent, and the other strand is the new strand. So semi-conservative replication literally means that one of the strand of DNA is the parental strand, and the other strand of DNA is the new strand. Okay, so this is exactly the agenda of semi-conservative replication, because lots of theories were proposed while the scientists were studying about DNA replication. तो उसमें से the most acceptable theory was of semi-conservative replication, which mentioned that whenever the DNA is replicated, it's replicated in a manner that one of the strands is going to be the parental strand and the other strand is going to be the new strand. So we are now discussing how a new strand is made and how it makes a complementary base pairing with the old DNA strand. So we just said that आपके पास activated nucleotides are present in your nucleus, and then those activated nucleotides which were free in nature, now they are going to pair up with the complementary base on each of the old DNA strands. Okay, so these are the two different processes that were taking place. One of them is this, कि यहाँ पर your DNA strand was opening up. ठीक है? Then अब ये open up हो गया, so it does have a nitrogenous bases over here, right? And यहाँ पर the other process is taking place in the nucleus, where your nucleotides they are activated now, and now their base pairings. Let's say that this is your base, right? These are the bases, these are the different bases. Now they're going to this DNA, the old strand of DNA, they're going to form complementary base pairings, and this is how your semi-conservative replication takes place. Your activated nucleotides, they're going to form base pairings with the previous DNA, with the old strand of DNA. So an enzyme, DNA polymerase, links the sugar and innermost phosphate groups of the next door nucleotides together. The two extra phosphates are broken off and released into the nucleus. So I know this is difficult to understand, but just mark it with yourself. A 2 marks question comes for the working of DNA polymerase, in which you have to write what exactly is the function of DNA polymerase. That it's an enzyme which links the sugar and the innermost phosphate groups of the next door nucleotides together. So this is just lots of English to understand. Just remember the fact that DNA polymerase is responsible to connect the sugar and phosphate groups. Okay, it's going to connect sugar, the pentose sugar and the phosphate groups. And then after this process has taken place, yani when these nitrogenous bases, they combine over here, DNA polymerase is going to create a link between them. And once this base pairing takes place, these phosphates, these extra phosphates, they're going to be removed. So when they're removed, they are released into the nucleus again. Okay, so this is how the supply of phosphate heads is ensured in the nucleus, because once they have taken part in the reaction, they'll be removed from the nucleotide. Then DNA polymerase will only link an incoming nucleotide to the growing new chain if it is complementary to the base on the old strand. So DNA polymerase is also responsible to make sure that complementary base pairing is taking place or not. It's not going to link all of the bases with the old strand. It's going to ensure that adenine will bind with thymine and cytosine will bind with guanine, or vice versa. The thymine, if thymine is present in the old strand, then only adenine will be able to bind with it. And if cytosine is present, then only guanine will bind. So DNA polymerase is there to link your pentose sugar. It's going to link your pentose sugar with your nitrogenous bases, and it's going to ensure a proper complementary base pairing is taking place or not. Then comes the 2-mark question for DNA ligase. So you need to remember DNA polymerase and you need to remember DNA ligase as well. Okay, DNA ligase is responsible for joining DNA fragments by catalyzing the formation of phosphodiester bonds. So this is a new bond that you need to remember. We have studied about ester bond, we have studied about glycosidic peptide bonds, we have studied out so many bonds, right? But now when you talk about DNA and when you talk about the bonds of DNA, you'll just mention phosphodiester bond. Okay, phosphodiester bonds are between the nucleotides. Okay, so and how are they made? They're made with the action of DNA ligase. The DNA ligase catalyzes the formation of phosphodiester bonds between the nucleotides, and DNA polymerase is responsible for synthesis of DNA from its building blocks nucleotides using template DNA. So template DNA means कि old DNA को template बना के it's responsible to add different nucleotides, ensuring the fact कि your proper base pairing is taking place or not. And this is how your DNA replication takes place. ठीक है? So we'll study protein synthesis and triplet code in the next class, because I know it's too much to take in. And just quickly let me know if you have any questions.